So we have ended the 2046 season, and in this video we are going to recap our first full season with Lillestrøm and let's see exactly how it has gone, and did we manage to make it into European qualification spots, just to make sure that for the 2047-48 season we at least are going to be playing some European football. This was the first year in quite a long time that I've not entered European football from July onwards. Did give us time to focus domestically though. So one thing to point out is I did manage to secure John Tyrion as our assistant manager. Really pleased with this. I think it's a top signing for our assistant manager. And John George Terry joins us. He was with us for 14 years at Egersons. In fact, actually, yeah, he was a coach for 1 year, so 14 years. Then now with us at Lillestrøm. Yeah, it's just common sense we had to try to bring him in. So let's start off by recapping how our cup competition went, and we made to the quarterfinals, which was expected by the board, so fairly pleased with that. You can see here, first round, we beat Brina, one of my local sides. Then we played Chelsea, got a 4-0 win. Then Hønefoss, 3-0. Kristiansund 3-0 before going out away from home to Brann. Disappointing because I did think there was maybe a path to the final, but it did give us a chance to focus a little bit on the league. Now we will look at the transfers because we did recap the first 10 games of the season in the last video. So we'll look at the transfers, then have a look through the whole league fixture results, then the league table, etc., and work our way through the club. So in terms of the summer ins, there was only one, and that was Bergam Hansen, who we had on loan last season from Nottingham Forest. His contract was run out, so I'm glad I didn't take the idea of signing for 1 million, which was a possibility. Waited 6 months, gone on a free, and he's settled in really well. He's only 20 years old now, and I think it was a fantastic deal to get him on a free transfer, and he could be a solid defender for us long term. So in terms of the summer outs, Petter Henriksen went to OB. He was one of the Danish players, the right back, 400k. For 1.9 million, Vidal went. He is a young central defender. He did come through the academy, but with heading of only 8 and only 5'11", I couldn't see a position where he would ever break into the squad. So when I got offered 1.9 million, I thought that's money we really do need to take. Vetterhus, who we signed in the winter window, has left us for 180k. Complained he wasn't getting enough football, which is strange considering he was a squad player. But we've let him go. Thomason went to Ascoli on a free. He was the attacking midfielder. He was on a high wage, so it was nice to get him out. Mokresh, the Syrian central defender, has gone also to Italy, to Ascoli. So happy to get 725k for him. And Ortega's gone to AGF on loan until the summer of next year. Again, it was just getting him off our wage bill, 6.5k a week. We needed to cut them wages. Just quickly, if we look at the finances, you can see we've lost 5.7 million this season. We only have 2.7 in the bank now. In terms of expenditure this season, our biggest expenses is tax at 5.245. Then our players' wages are 3.6 million, staff wages are 3.3, transfer expenditure at 2.6, non-football costs are 1.9, youth set up at 1.1. Then you work your way down after that. In terms of income, if we go to this season, our biggest income was players sold at 4.5 million, prize money of 3.1. We did get a little bit from the Europa Conference League, etc., which ended in the summer. Obviously, we're not in it this year. Gate receipts are 3 million, season tickets are 1.8, sponsorship 1.5, etc. So we have lost money. Not being in European competition for this 46-47 season is going to mean we're probably going to have to be a selling club over the winter. You can see we currently spend 83,000 a week on wages. We do have a committed spend for next season of 74. I'd be shocked if we go over 80, to be honest. We can spend up to 130, but we need to be smart leading up until we get back in the European competition. So if we looked at our league form from here against our rivals Vålerenga, where we beat them 2-1, You can see we are very up and down side. So 3 wins in the month of July, 1 defeat, 4-0 to relegation battle in Arsenal. Are they relegation battling? I don't actually think they are. Kongsvinger though, 5-1, they have gone down. And then 3 draws in a row to Brann, Sogndal and relegated Asker. They're the type of games next season we need to be winning. You can see then we got 2 wins, a draw and a defeat in the month of September, before 3 wins and a defeat in October. And November and December we were very successful with 4 wins out of 4. And that projected. What's it when it fired us? Is it projected? Whatever. Either way, we ended up finishing in 3rd place. Sogndal aren't guaranteed European football at the minute because Viking are in the cup final. We probably should have gone forward to the cup final. We can look at that next season. But you can see 3rd place. We had a very good end to the season. So we won 18, drew 5, lost 7. We did set points records and most amount of wins records, which was very nice. We did actually finish ahead of Egersons, who... Let's take a minute. So, Niemeyer, who we have for this season and next season, they let go. Anderson went on loan and Maller went on loan. They sold Kevin Steens, the central defender, defensive mid. Fosserdal, they've sold to Saudi Arabia, I think it is. Either way, they sold him. Unbelievable. And Buzek, they sold for 7 million. I rejected a 60 million for him. Abdullah, they sold for 8.5 to West Ham. And Racine, they sold for 1.1, who I was trying to sign. But I should have got him. I feel like I have missed a trick not bringing him in. But look at the squad. They've got so many foreign players now. I don't see how they can register them all going in next season. I really don't. And I just feel like this is a perfect example of how the Football Manager 2024 AI is absolutely useless. They have built a squad which is not capable of playing in the Norwegian leagues. You can only have 9 foreign players. They must have about 20. Look at Lillestrøm when we took over just over a year and a half ago. They had 25 foreign players in this first team squad. So we had to fix that. Egerson have gone down the same route and are absolutely destroying themselves. 4th place finish now. 2nd last year. That's 2 years in a row now. They've not won the league. Bird a glimpse of the champions now. We finished ahead of them. And when I took over this club, it was an absolute disaster. And we now only finished 4 points from being league champions. Now, one thing I did want to point out, if we go into team details, salary per annum, Egerson up at 77 million. And we are down in 10th. Spending 3.69, and to be honest with you, I think it's a bit steep with how much money we've got coming in. So that lets you know that, yeah, we're a low spender and we are achieving a lot for what we are spending, 100%. So in terms of how the other teams did, then our B team ended up finishing in 7th place in the league. Played 26, won 11, drew 5, lost 10. They had a really bad start to the season, but have kicked on, have ended up finishing mid-table, and I'm really pleased with that. A mid-table finish in the 3rd tier. In our first season back in that tier, I'm really pleased with. Now, under 19s, we won the league, won 16, drew 4 out of the 20 games. Then we won the final against Ålesund 3-0. So we are going back into the elite division of under-19 football, which is nice. In the winter transfer intake, I'm going to try to make sure we do bring in as many of the intake as we can to keep a strong depth in our squad. You can see Simon Borg finished top goal scorer in the under-19s, and he's a talented player. Might be time for him to come into the first team, get a bit of football next year, or he will go up into our B team and get a bit of football for them. But either way, he's developing with his perfectionist personality as well. I do think there's a bit of potential there with Simon Borg. I do still need to fix the region faces. So in terms of who did what for us, then our top goal scorer with 27 goals in his first season at the club, 23 and 28 in the league, is Victor Hagelin. And I think this is an absolute steal. We've ended up picking up a really, really good player here. Picked up for 925k, really pleased with that. Second highest with 14 is Fury, who is tipped as one of the potential Golden Boy winners. We paid 100 grand for this kid, and he has developed very nicely. So really pleased with that. And Yanti also ended up picking up 6 goals. Again, a player who I brought in with the idea of, I did spend big, 1.3 million on him. For a club who wasn't going to be in Europe, that was big money. But he's ended up being an absolute gem and really will develop into a top player. In terms of assists, Fury finished top on that with 17, really good. And Filderbottom got 7 from the left wing. A player who I do think is solid. Came through the academy as well, which does just give him that extra bonus tick, doesn't it? So, our first full season here with Lillestrøm, and we've developed a good side. We really have developed a good side. Now, a couple of things to point out, like Kieta, who we brought in for £50,000, is leaving us in the summer. It will be a bit of a surprise. I mean, the price is there, 5.25 million. 50k, one season, 5.25 million sold. We've already discussed we need to be a selling club, so he is going to be moving on. And I do think when we have Terrier Anderson, who came through the intake, he can easily slot in a left back. He's played 17 games for us this season. He is going to slot in and be our first choice left back next year, I think. And the only worry or doubt I have is the fact that he's so good on the left wing. Might potentially use him on the left wing a bit as well. So maybe we can look at another Norwegian left back. Maybe one of the players like Meyer from Egerson, if you remember, one of the players we used to have. But another player who is going to be leaving us is our backup goalkeeper, Fisker. Came in on a free transfer from Egerson after coming through the intake. He's on such a high wage at 7k. He's our joint highest earner. So I have decided to move him on because Lingstad is going to be our long-term number 1. So we don't need a 7k a week player sitting on the bench. Not at this point in our journey with Lillestrøm. Maybe long-term, 7k a week on the bench is nothing. But right now, we've got to be that bit more financially astute. So far in terms of teams going down is Asker and Kongsvinger have gone down. Coming up, there's a couple of shocks. Frigg are coming up along with Shelsas. Going down, potentially Ulkisser, Bryne and Sandefjord. From the third tier, you can see that Rann have gone up and Sandnes from our division also went up, winning the division. Fair play them, with a lot of very good B teams in. They did end up winning the league. So you have to sometimes just take off your hat and say, well done there. Now, one thing I did want to point out is that the amount of supporter culture things I've got here. So, first off, social media's gone up 23.7k. So we expected to develop players using the youth system, play possession football, high tempo, make most of set pieces, be solid defensively, get the better of Strunham, maintain a higher rep than Valerenga, finish above Rosenborg, finish above Brann, record a top half. Is there anything else you would like? One thing I did notice, the board have an A- at the moment. They did have me as untouchable. Somehow we went from 4th to 3rd. It's gone to A-. The supporters, it is now B+. It was C. When the board had me untouchable, the supporters had me at a C. A little bit harsh, if I do say so myself. Board-wise, we are expected to develop players using the youth system, which we are doing in my opinion. We have that left wing Anderson. Make the most of set pieces, we have done well there. Play defensively solid and counter-attacking football, so the complete opposite what the supporters want. In terms of set pieces, we can see how we did compared to other teams in the division, so teams detailed. If we go to attacking and we go to set piece goals, so where are we with set pieces? Goals scored from corners, we scored 9. From indirect free kicks, direct free kicks we scored 1, indirect free kicks we scored 5, so we have been really solid with that. In terms of conceded from corners, 5, direct free kicks we conceded none, indirect free kicks we conceded 1, but offensively we've done really well from set pieces, and if that can continue, I think going into next season we could have a very successful year. But next season then, in the 2047 season, we will be entering European qualification again, which is fantastic and very much needed financially. We need to be maybe looking at our... stadium condition is good. So I guess we technically don't need to look at upgrading our stadium. Would be nice to get one named after us. And we're not even on favourite personnel yet. Hopefully in time we can pop up on this. So we are a legend at Egerton. Can we, in time, become a legend at Lillestrøm as we continue to build a nation in Norway? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support. I will see you next time when we recap the 2046-47 European campaign without us taking part.